Hey, everyone! Welcome back to Easy English Conversation, your daily companion for English and life. I'm Sophia.
And I'm James. Maybe you're on the bus right now. Maybe you're making lunch. Maybe you're avoiding something on your to-do list. Wherever you are, glad you're here. And today, I have a confession to make.
Ooh, tell us more about it.
About 8 months ago, I signed up for a 5K race. I built a full training plan, 12 weeks, color-coded. I had a column for hydration. I bought brand new running shoes. I was completely ready.
I already know where this is going.
Week 1, perfect. Week 2, pretty good. Week 3, I took a rest day, then another one, and somewhere around week 4, I just quietly became someone who used to train for a 5K.
And the shoes?
Still in excellent condition, which is either genuinely sad or very impressive depending on how you look at it.
So, why did you actually stop?
I mean, work got busy, I lost motivation, the usual.
But the plan was still there. The shoes were there, you had everything set up. So, what was really going on?
Honestly, I think I wasn't ready to find out if I could actually do it. Because if I never really tried, I could still imagine that I would have been great.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
So the plan stayed perfect because it was never tested.
exactly. And the moment I actually really started, it stopped being perfect. It became real, with slow days and bad runs and the very real possibility of falling short.
So stopping was actually protecting something.
The dream, as long as I never finished, the unfinished version could still be everything I imagined.
That's not just a lack of discipline. That's something more honest than that.
And a little harder to sit with.
Today, we're talking about why we start things with so much energy and then quietly disappear from them.
No judgment. We both have a list.
Today's episode is an A2 to B1 level, and we have a word tour later with vocabulary straight from this conversation. If this is already hitting close to home, leave a comment. What's one thing you started and never finished? And honestly, why do you think you stopped?
Be honest, or just blame the shoes.
Like and subscribe if you haven't yet. It really does help. And let's get into it.
And the thing is, it wasn't just the race. I do this with everything. I started learning guitar once, had a notebook with chords, watched tutorials for a whole week. Beautiful phase, honestly.
What happened?
I got to the part where my fingers actually had to press the strings. Turns out, it hurts. And it sounds terrible at first.
So the moment it became practice instead of a plan, you quit.
Exactly that moment. And I realized this is going to take longer than I thought, and it's going to sound bad for a while. And somehow, I couldn't follow through.
When you say follow through, you mean you couldn't keep going past that first wall?
Yeah, like starting is exciting. You're buying the notebook, you're watching the tutorials, you're telling people about it, and then the actual work shows up. And the actual work is quieter, less exciting, more uncomfortable.
There's no audience for the hard part.
Exactly. Nobody sees the bad practice sessions. Nobody sees the third Tuesday in a row when you don't feel like it. They only see the beginning and, if you get there, the end.
And if there's no end?
Then at least there was a beginning, which felt good.
I've done this too. I once decided I was going to start journaling every morning. Bought a beautiful notebook, proper one, hardcover, nice pen.
Of course.
Wrote in it for 9 days straight. Very consistent, very proud of myself.
And then
And then I wrote half a page on day 10, didn't like what came out, and just closed it. It's still on my desk. I see it every morning.
a daily reminder.
A very elegant one, yes. But what I remember about those 9 days, they felt real, like I was actually doing the thing. And then the moment I wrote something I didn't like, something shifted.
Because it stopped matching what you imagined it would be.
I think that's exactly it. I had this image of what journaling would look like for me. Clear thoughts, good sentences, some kind of insight every morning. And then I wrote something messy and honest and a little embarrassing. And I couldn't keep going.
I think what happens is you lose steam right at the moment when it gets real. That energy from the beginning, when everything still feels possible, it carries you for a while. And then reality shows up and slows you down.
And once you lose it, starting again feels like climbing a hill you already climbed once.
and you know how hard it was the first time.
So you wait for the energy to come back, which it sometimes does,
And sometimes you just become someone who used to journal.
or used to run, or used to play guitar.
We collect a lot of former hobbies between the two of us.
We really do. But I think there's something underneath all of this that's worth looking at, because it's not random. It's always the same moment. The moment the thing in front of you stops matching the thing in your head.
Oh, the gap. I know that feeling way too well.
Right. The gap between the idea, still perfect, still full of potential, and the actual work in progress. With all the mess and the slow days and the results that don't quite look the way you pictured them.
And the idea in your head never disappoints you.
No, it just waits. Patient, perfect, completely safe from reality.
Until you try again.
And I think that's where the real question is. Not why didn't I finish, but what did I think finishing would mean? Because when the result has to live up to everything you imagined, that's a very high bar. One that maybe no real version of the thing could ever clear.
Which makes starting feel safer than finishing.
Every single time. And that's the part people don't always talk about. It's not always a discipline problem. Sometimes it's the weight of your own expectations sitting on top of the whole thing.
Making it hard to even pick it back up.
Because if you pick it up, you have to find out.
But I think there's something even more specific going on for me. It's not just the gap between the idea and the reality. It's what happens if I finish and the result is just not that good.
Say more, James.
Like, right now, the guitar version of me that never finished learning, in my head, he was going to be pretty great. Maybe not professional, but genuinely good. And as long as I never finished, that version is still possible.
The unfinished project protects the dream.
Exactly. Because if I finish and it falls short, if I finish and it's mediocre or average or just fine, then I have to let go of the version that was going to be everything.
And that version was keeping you company this whole time.
For years in some cases, you get attached to who you were going to be.
That's a hard thing to admit.
It is, because it sounds like an excuse when you say it out loud. But I don't think it is. I think it's genuinely frightening. To find out that your best effort produces something ordinary.
I understand that fear. But for me, it's a little different. It's not so much what I discover about the project. It's what the project would say about me.
What do you mean, Sophia?
When something is unfinished, it's still private. It's yours. Nobody can evaluate it. But the moment you finish, and especially the moment you show it, you expose something. Not just the work, yourself.
Because the work came from you.
And don't respond to it, or if it's not what you hoped, it doesn't feel like the project failed. It feels like you did.
That's a different kind of scary.
It is, and I think that's why I closed the notebook on day 10. It wasn't really about the bad page. It was about what the bad page meant. That this was actually me, on paper, unfiltered.
And unfiltered is terrifying when you've been imagining a cleaner version.
So you close the notebook, you put down the guitar, you stop showing up to practice, and you call it taking a break, because abandon feels like too strong a word.
But it is what it is.
It is, and I don't say that as a judgment. I say it because I think naming it honestly is the first step to understanding it. You abandon the thing, not because you're lazy, but because finishing felt more dangerous than stopping.
Though I'd push back a little on that framing, Sophia.
Okay, go ahead.
I think sometimes abandon is too strong for what's actually happening. Some of those things, the guitar, the journal, even the race, they're not dead. They're just waiting.
Waiting for what?
For you to be ready to find out, which might be different from never finishing at all.
That's generous. I like it. But I also think, for some of them, the waiting is a story we tell ourselves so we don't have to say we stopped.
Fair. Both things can be true at the same time.
Probably are, for most of us, and I think that's what makes this hard to untangle. Because the fear of falling short and the fear of being exposed, they feel the same from the inside. They both just feel like, I don't want to do this anymore.
When actually, there's a whole conversation underneath.
That most people never have. Because it's easier to say, I lost interest, than I was scared of what I'd find out.
Or scared of what other people would find out about you.
Two very different fears. Same result.
An excellent notebook sitting on a desk somewhere.
or a color-coded training plan in a forgotten folder.
Still technically viable, by the way. The plan is still good.
Of course it is.
Maybe that's the thing. We keep the plans, we keep the notebooks, we keep the barely used shoes. Because letting go of them completely would mean closing the door on who we were going to be. And we're not quite ready to do that.
And maybe we don't have to be.
Maybe we don't.
I keep thinking about what you said, about keeping the plans, the notebooks, the shoes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not just avoidance. Maybe keeping them is a way of saying, I'm not done with this version of myself yet. The one who was going to do the thing.
And you don't have to be done with it today.
You don't. The unfinished thing isn't only a failure. It's also a door you decided to leave open.
Which is different from walking away.
A little, and maybe that's enough for now. Just knowing the difference, not fixing it, not forcing yourself to finish, just understanding what's actually going on when you stop.
Because it's usually not what you think it is.
It never is.
Let's slow down together for a moment. Word tour time. 6 words from today's conversation. Words you can use in your own life.
Starting with
Follow through. To follow through means to keep going until you finish. Not just start, but actually complete what you said you would do.
I signed up for the class, but I didn't follow through. She had a great idea, but never followed through with it. Repeat. Follow through.
Follow through.
Next one, lose steam. To lose steam means to start something with a lot of energy and then slowly stop having that energy. Like a train that starts fast and gets slower and slower.
I was so motivated in January, but I lost steam by March. The project started well, but the team lost steam halfway through. Repeat. Lose steam.
Lose steam.
Next, live up to. To live up to something means to be as good as expected, to match a standard or an idea that already exists.
The movie didn't live up to the hype. I was afraid the result wouldn't live up to what I had imagined. Repeat. Live up to.
Live up to.
Next, fall short. To fall short means to not reach the level you were hoping for, to try and still not quite get there.
I studied hard but fell short on the exam. Sometimes your best effort falls short of your own expectations, and that's a hard feeling. Repeat. Fall short.
Fall short.
Next, expose. To expose something means to show it, to bring it out into the open where others can see it. And sometimes that thing you're exposing is yourself.
Finishing the project felt like it would expose how much I still had to learn. She didn't want to publish it because it would expose too much of her private life. Repeat. Expose.
Expose.
And the last one, abandon. To abandon something means to leave it behind completely, to stop and not go back. It's stronger than quit. It carries a little more weight.
He abandoned the project after 3 months. I didn't want to say I abandoned it, but that's what I did. Repeat. Abandon.
Abandon.
So, we asked at the beginning, what's one thing you started and never finished? And why do you think you stopped?
And after everything we talked about today, maybe the answer is a little more honest now than it would have been an hour ago.
Maybe it wasn't laziness. Maybe it wasn't bad timing. Maybe it was just the real version getting too close to the imagined one.
Leave it in the comments. Not to confess, just to name it. Sometimes that's the first step.
And if you're not ready to name it yet, that's fine too. The notebook isn't going anywhere.
Neither are the shoes. If today's episode meant something to you, leave a like and subscribe. It helps more than you think. And be kind to yourself this week. You don't need to finish everything today.
Or this year.
This is Sophia.
And this is James.
And you've been listening to Easy English Conversation. Bye.
Bye, everyone.